Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello, what is going on? How y'all doing this Sunday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and this is my review of this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. It took place on this past Friday, March 15th, 2024, and it took place in Memphis, Tennessee. We are not live again. I almost went live for this one. But again, I just have a lot I'm trying to still get knocked out. I mean, we did have to kind of interrupt it with the 2,000 subscribers special that I did because I reached 2,000 subscribers Friday night thanks to my nephew and some of his other friends' channels that he was able to subscribe and give me those last couple subscribers. And as of this morning, we have 2,002 subscribers on the channel. So again, thank you to DRK Midnight, who was my nephew, who was my special guest in my 2,000 subscriber stream yesterday. I thought it was a really good stream. Got to just talk wrestling, just have a conversation. I thought it was awesome. I had a great time. Everybody who was live, I had a great time with it as well. So I thought again, I didn't go live for Raw. Let's just record SmackDown. Take a week off from live streams and try to get back into them this coming week. Especially also because, like I said, I did say once I did get to 2,000, I was going to kind of like cool off a bit, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon because I still got a lot of work that I want to do on the channel and whatnot. And we're still going to keep going. Like I said, I think like if there's like an end goal, like a goal where I can at least say I got to where I wanted to be for sure, the end goal is eventually I would like to get to 10,000 subscribers. If I get to 10,000, I will have like some sort of like completion felt to me. I'll still keep going. See if I can get higher. 20, 50, 100,000 subscribers. However many I can get. But we're going to like kind of like ease back on the goals for a little bit. I mean, I would still say the next goal I have is 2,500. Get it to be like a quarter thing and whatnot. And then after that, aim a little higher for like 5,000. But again, just taking a breather from like the goals, but still got a lot of stuff I want to do for the channel. So we're going to keep rolling here. And we're going to talk about SmackDown, which I thought was good. Again, both Raw and SmackDown this week had some fresher directions for other feuds that do kind of, need the time for it. We did have first of the tag matches to qualify. Well, I thought they were qualifying matches for to be in the 6-man ladder match. But I guess it's a tournament where there's like multiple brackets, I guess. And the winners of those brackets get to fill the spots. So we had 2 matches on the show tonight that were part of those brackets. And then, of course, we had The Rock as well. We got to main event with the women for a change with Bayley and Dakota Kai having her first official singles match back in probably about a year since she suffered her second ACL injury. We also have another match for United States Champion made official WrestleMania. And, of course, the match with LA Knight and AJ Styles as well made official WrestleMania. So, some stuff to talk about still. But like I said, I still just wanted to take a little breather and just make sure I got a bunch of things updated, up to date. And then, of course, again, we can get back to live stream hopefully this week. As I did promise to at least try to do live streams as much as I can till WrestleMania. Still trying to, of course, after that, because again, I do enjoy the live streams. But like I said, it's just sometimes it's like it's easier if I have a lot I'm doing that I just record. And I've already talked 5 minutes in this video, not talked about one piece of content from SmackDown, so let's roll into SmackDown and talk about it. So, the show opens up with The Rock coming out. And he has those, like, lightning strikes in his entrance now. And, he also kind of had, like, the Hollywood Rock theme song come back. His old one definitely is better for sure, but, this one was still fine. He gets on the microphone and he says, usually he scorches the earth everywhere he goes, but this city is different. His career started here in Memphis, every Monday night working as Flex Kavana, and does his finally, The Rock has come back. Then pauses for a bit, thinking he's going to say to Memphis, Tennessee, but all he says is, home. And then he starts talking about how he loves music. And he then starts on to a concert. He introduces this band. And he starts singing. Talking about how what's going to happen to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He's going to beat their asses. He also starts talking about Mama Rhodes, as he calls Cody Rhodes' mom now. And how The Rock himself is a mama's boy. Before he offered up a story about how Cody was born, he was too weird, and basically said that, implying again that Cody was a mistake because Dusty used cheapies and was drunk, he implied. He then talks about Seth Rollins, the next verse, and how his wife's more popular than him, and how he's going to make Seth's title disappear. Then he does another verse about the Cody Crybabies, and how they have to pay for certain things and so on. That basically he was going a little overboard, I thought, with it. I mean, it was entertaining, but he was definitely going kind of like nuts, but still entertaining. And then when the song finishes, he addresses the slap from Cody last week. He says Cody finally man up, grew some balls, slapped the hell out of The Rock. And then Cody went to Raw. What did he do? He placed footage of Cody crying on Raw, and of course, The Rock mocks him for crying. Now The Rock wants to talk to Mama Rhodes, and he knows she's watching and listening. She's going to know him in ways she will wish she didn't. Tells her that he's going to make Cody pay, make the family pay, and make her pay. On night 1, they're going to beat him and Seth, and that takes them to night 2, where Cody is going to fail to finish the story. But, of course, Cody won't be able to bring her the belt, as he talked about on Raw this past week. But The Rock has a belt. He then pulls out a brown Brahma Bull weightlifting belt. Basically, another like a opposite version of Cody's white belt. He tells Mama Rose he's going to beat her son and make him bleed and tear his flesh. And whoop him like a dog. Over and over again. And when he's done, he'll take the bloody belt and walk over to her and hand it to her, putting it on her lap. She may cry, but that's okay because he's going to whisper in his ear. And with all the blood and tears on the belt, he'll wipe it and say, Michelle, what can I say except you're welcome. If you smell what The Rock, what the final boss is cooking. He's called himself the final boss now, which is, although calling himself the final boss and acknowledging Roman as his tribal chief, Roman's technically the final boss right now. But if he's calling himself the final boss, the setup for Roman Reigns and him to fight probably WrestleMania 41 next year, then I can kind of see why. But, just like basically kind of like a nostalgia segment, I thought it was. I mean, it was entertaining. I know a lot of fans are giving it a lot of backlash because of the profanity and how far he went with it. But, then again, sometimes I do kind of wonder, like, okay, you guys either think it's too PG or that it's too much. Like, you wanted it to be a little edgier, but when it's a little bit edgier, it's too much. But I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. And, you know, just another Rock segment. Next week, though, we will have Cody and Roman face-to-face on SmackDown. And we'll see, of course, what that entails. And with the first half hour of the show being taken up by The Rock again, which is not complaining there, we got to the rest of the show. We first had a match in the qualifying tournament with LWO, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde, taking on Legado del Fantasma's Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Or, of course, Angel and Berto, as he's known. It's not Humberto, it's just Berto. Match is fun. These two teams have definitely put on a lot of nice matches. I am definitely, though, again, I've always liked Angel Garza. I've always, enjoyed Humberto Carrillo. I'm glad they're kind of both getting a spotlight again, because they kind of went lost in the shuffle for a while. I still kind of we would get Angel Garza back to where he was as a single star when he first came in. Because when he came in that first Breakout Star tournament, he was oozing charisma. He definitely was setting up to be the next Eddie. And then they just reduced him to tag team action. But I also say I have become more and more of a fan of not just Cruz del Toro, but also Joaquin Wilde. Not just because I found out he actually went to the same high school as my fiance, she's my wife now, as my wife and my in-laws, was a couple years older than my oldest brother-in-law, actually, but he's really impressing me, and I think this tag team is definitely becoming they're definitely to me past the jobber stage. They are definitely legitimate. I feel look great. Legado del Fantasma though do win the match, and they are going to be moving on in the tournament. I forgot who they take on, if they're going to be taking on the winner of the other match, or if it was separate brackets. I don't remember. But anyway, so they win. And we then get a brief interview with L.A. Knight. Yeah! DRK Midnight actually said today, they should get a chant of going L.A. Knight. Yeah! Going. And AJ Styles going, AJ Styles. And the crowd goes, no. Or whatever it is. Which would be cool, I would say, for this feud. But anyways, LA Knight's being interviewed. He calls out AJ Styles and then says when he doesn't show up, he calls him short and Napoleon Styles. Even though Napoleon was actually about savage in height for late 18th century Europe, you see a nickname, the Little Corporal, was a term of endearment given to him by his troops in the sense of, he's our guy, not he's short. Knight keeps, talking through and then challenges AJ to a match at WrestleMania. As he does this, AJ Styles comes out with a chair and attacks and accepts the challenge for WrestleMania. I'm guessing since a chair is involved, maybe because we haven't had a street fight or anything announced yet, maybe we'll get a stipulation match between these two. Which I'm starting to wonder if AJ's still working hurt. Because he still really has not wrestled much at all since he came back. He wrestled the qualifying match. He wrestled a match against Solo. I'm starting to wonder, well, then again also, he is on SmackDown. And I know there was a time a couple years ago where he wanted to be on Raw because he wanted to be able to spend more time with his family. So maybe AJ's kind of transitioned a little more part-time as well. My only thing is, though, again, is like I said, this match is going to be good with Knight and Styles. I just, still feel like LA Knight should have been competing for a title. But two, AJ Styles has been booked to lose for the past 2 years. So it's kind of hard because I want to see AJ get some momentum back, but if he's not being used in a prominent role right now, I get why, but he's got to kind of get some stock being built for himself, in my opinion, but we'll see, though. That'll be a great match. We also get a recap of Logan Paul and KSI and the whole thing with Prime being the center stage sponsor now at all pay-per-views. and Randy Orton attacking them last week. We then have Logan coming up to Nick Aldis asking how Randy's going to be punished. And Aldis shrugs off and says, if you want an apology from Randy, because Aldis might get in serious trouble if not. So Aldis tells him to go ask Randy yourself in person. And then first we have an interview backstage where Jimmy Uso basically accepts Jey Uso's challenge. Yeet! Wish we had a little more story to it, but it's happening. Okay. I mean, maybe this is just the first of a couple matches, but we'll see. Yeet! No yeet. We'll see what happens with that match at Mania. Randy Orton took on Grayson Waller because, again, Randy Orton basically joined up with Kevin Owens as the two guys who do nothing but fight Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Randy Orton does win with an RKO. Afterwards, Logan Paul comes out trying to goat Randy into a fight, and they're beating him down. They're teasing that that Logan was gonna punch him again with his one lucky punch, gloating. Until Kevin Owens came out and made the save, and Orton almost got Owens with an RKO, but they get past the malfunction. And then instead they do this. It was a nice combo, but they do some nice combo. I think it was on Grayson, where Owens hit the stunner and Orton countered it with an RKO, which looked kind of sweet. But Logan just stares off from the floor. Nick Aldis comes down and is like, yo, Logan, did you get that apology? Well, either way, I have your opponent for WrestleMania. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant opponents. You're going to be fighting Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a triple threat at WrestleMania. So there's your multi-man match, a triple threat Mania. I guess I'm getting Chad Gable and Sami Zayn in the triple threat with Gunther. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Then we had we also get another recap about what's been going on with Damage Control and Bayley. Damage Control are backstage being interviewed, and Dakota Kai tells Bayley she's going to break her, and anyone who feels sorry for her has lost their mind because this is her own fault. So this is a message to everyone in the locker room that they run the show now, which again is true. Bayley has kind of dug her hole. So now she's trying to, she's trying to get allies. And so far, the only person who has seemingly sympathized with Bayley is Naomi. Nobody else. But before we got there, we had Dragon Lee take on Santos Escobar. Escobar wins the Phantom Driver. And then afterwards, they have him and Legado del Fantasma beat down Dragon Lee. But Carlito came out to make the save. And then out came Rey Mysterio, fights Escobar. Escobar gets away before he was being hit with the 619. And then Rey's like, yo, why are you running? Fine, we'll fight next week. And he'll slap the taste out of his mouth. So we're getting them one-on-one on SmackDown next week, instead of waiting until WrestleMania. Making me wonder if we're going to either do a stipulation match between them, as that Britt did Mask versus Hair at WrestleMania. Could we be doing maybe a mixed tag? Although I still think there's a chance that could be happening with the Pride and the Final Testament, but yet the Street Profits and the Authors of Pain are facing each other in next week on SmackDown in the other bracket for the qualifying tournament for that 6-man ladder match for the tag titles. But we'll see what happens. But that should still be a WrestleMania match. New Catch Republic take on Pretty Deadly, because that's all Pete Dunne can fight is Pretty Deadly. And New Catch Republic do win, thank goodness. And I still don't care about Pretty Deadly. Again, I think their disco song's catchy, but I don't care about Pretty Deadly. I don't. I still can't. I've tried, but I just can't. I can't. That happens then, and the main event was Bayley and Dakota Kai, and of course the match went on, was fine. Ends in DQ whenever Damage Control tried to get involved. And they beat down Bayley, who, of course, again, is all alone. But Naomi did come out trying to make the save, but again, the numbers were not enough. It was interesting, though, that the crowd was chanting, EST! 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 and Bianca did not come out. Which good, because storyline-wise, again, if there's anybody who's gone through hell with damage control, it's been Bianca. She's gotten, like, the most of it out of anyone since, well, she's even feuded with Bayley, I think, like, twice. With, since being on the main roster. Before and currently with damage control. So, I get it completely. My question is, though, is obviously she needs a little more numbers. Who else is going to help her? I mean, it looks like storyline-wise, they could have Bianca eventually be the one to help, which could eventually lead to Bianca turning heel. Maybe, who knows? But who'd be the fourth person? Who would be? Because honestly, let's be honest. If Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné didn't go to AEW, this would be a prime time to bring back Sasha Banks. Although, she'd be someone else I feel like they would be doing the same with Bianca, because Bayley turned on Sasha this time. So, but of course, it does seem fitting for a Sasha Banks spot in this. I'm wondering if, since they teased a match with her and Io the other week, what if the fourth person was Jade? Jade Cargill, maybe? Be the fourth person? I don't know. I still think Jade should be a heel, but, you know, start for something else. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting Bianca and Jade at WrestleMania, though. Although I do still wonder if the Kabuki Warriors are going to be defending the titles at Mania, because they had the match with Shayna and Zoe, but they're really not teasing. I mean, they had the feud again with Candice and Maxine going, but nothing else really cooking for who's going to fight the tag champs. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, though. But that's how the show ended, and this review of SmackDown, I mean, I still thought it was good and, you know, progressed things forward. I didn't hate it. I gave it a B. Had it not been for, of course, with The Rock, I mean, probably a B-, but I gave it a B. A B for SmackDown this week. Again, hopefully we should be returning live for Raw and SmackDown reviews next week. So, guys, once again, thank you for tuning in for this video. And what are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown? Please share you guys your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come to my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at TheClubOfTheMan93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TheClubOfTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!